So Batman, a man who prides himself on being prepared for everything, he's literally famous for having contingency plans within contingency plans. So what if you take him out of his comfort zone, putting him into a whole new situation on the other side of the universe in a different galaxy where everything is similar but different at the same time? And that's exactly what we see here in this next issue of Batman Off-World. Now, if you've been a long-time viewer on the channel, you would know that this isn't a new series, It's genuinely been almost like a year since the last issue. But now we are finally here and back, and yeah, the breaks don't stop here now as it gets even crazier than before. So I'll definitely leave a playlist down below if you want to get fully caught up about where we are and what's even going on. But if you just want the gist of it, Batman has willfully sent himself to a distant part of the universe, an entirely new galaxy, as he felt his training was incomplete. When a powerful alien made its way to Earth and just completely clowned on Bruce decided, yeah, okay, I've pretty much mastered everything Earth has to offer, but what other planets out in the known universe, what do they have to offer? So yeah, it's a little strange when we pick up and see Batman seemingly back on Earth in Gotham. But no, this doesn't seem to be really reality or the case, as this is nothing more than his subconscious mind trying to inject normalcy into the crazy situation he is in now. With him finally realizing what's going on and him forcing himself to get back up, saying, "My brain's recalibrating quickly after trauma, like it's been trained hundreds of times before. I was fighting, but who was I fighting?" Him slowly realizing and coming back to reality about where he really is and what he's truly doing, even going on to say that he has to get up now or he's going to die as he's in space, 26 million light years from Earth, and fighting this slag galaxy's most dangerous and deadliest assassin. So of course, Batman says he refuses to die so far from home, so he gets his stuff together and locks in. But you see, this warrior, this assassin, this Thanagarian, isn't this galaxy's most feared assassin for no reason. As for Batman right here, on his own, he's pretty much unstoppable. There's nothing Bruce can do to really put him down for good or get an advantage over him. Bruce going on to say that this bounty hunter, this Thanagarian, he's been sent by the Blakksun Mining Company, sent here to either kill him or cripple him. And he's used to fighting in outer space, murdering people in orbit. And to top it all off, he is super strong and hits like a wrecking ball. So Batman just has to hit him with something bigger, as he attaches a high-tech bomb to his chest and blows him up, resulting in a pretty huge explosion in the middle of space. But that is just not enough. This Thanagarian is too powerful. Bruce even saying that back home, back on Earth, an attack like that would have been enough, but not over here. And after their prolonged battle makes it inside of a ship, Bruce goes on to say that I had a chance to finish his fight and go home. My mission before was fulfilled, but I chose to stay, and I chose war. And if there's one thing that Batman knows how to do, is fight a war. Though only just fighting a war is simply just one part of the equation, as the other and most importantly and bigger part is actually finishing and ending that war, as Bruce even goes on to say, he just hasn't figured out how to end one yet. Which is kind of true, even back in Gotham and the main current Batman, he is eternally locked in almost an endless war on crime. Because yes, the Batman is very successful and good at what he does, beating the bad guy, saving the day, but that can only go so far. That doesn't really leave lasting change or ending the war. And even in this battle here, Bruce even is aware of his limitations of being a human being. Because on this side of the galaxy, humans aren't really a common occurrence. They're a rare sight. And over here, everything is bigger and badder, so humans are lower on the totem pole of power. With him even saying, I can't even open my left eye, my jaw is dislocated. His eardrums burst, his gloves are filling with blood. Neither of his eyes wants to open back up after being hit over and over again. But his opponent, he's winged and merciless, and is armed with space metal beyond his comprehension, which Batman is referring to as nth metal. The material at its full potential and purpose is way stronger than even something like, say, vibranium over at Marvel. But even if you take away Batman's resilience, his fighting prowess, Batman at the end of the day is a strategic genius. So he finally gets the break he needs when he tells his little assistant, the punch bot who Batman turned into his little bat bot, he tells him to direct all of the power from this giant ship directly into Batman's spacesuit, which makes Bruce so much more powerful than he was before. But it does come with consequences, as he even goes on to say the full force of a cosmic superstorm erupts through his spacesuit. But his suit won't hold itself together for long, neither will he. Once the suit falters, the turbines will burn Batman to ash. So the only thing he can do, strain a singular eye open and punch with the power of a hurricane. Because somewhere out there in the darkness of space, orphans, just like he was one day, are screaming, need help. So his fist screams with them, as now the tides in this war and battle shift as Batman goes on to do a little bit of the dominating. And eventually it is successful, knocking out this Thanagarian, the best assassin in the galaxy so far. Though even after all of that huge prolonged battle the assassin here is only down for a little bit as he instantly gets back up and wants to attack more. But Bruce, in the condition he is in now, he can't have another one of those battles. He barely made it out the last one. So instead, as I said before, a little bit of Bruce's strategic genius shines as he then teleports away and leaves this Thanagarian warrior in the room with a bunch of other punch bots who can now attack back. And this entire time I've been kind of hyping up this Thanagarian as someone super powerful. I mean, you've seen it firsthand. Bruce barely made it out with his life. But this warrior here, he isn't even at the top of the food chain. No. In this galaxy, the Slag Galaxy, there is one company, one organization that runs it all. In the same fashion that in the Milky Way galaxy, you might have your Apocalypse and Darkseid at the top, feared throughout and very powerful. Yet over here in this galaxy, the Black Sun organization is run by a couple of siblings. One who are very mysterious and almost have nothing on them, but are feared and very, very powerful. Because even as Batman goes across this galaxy, from planet to planet, different hubs and spaceports, no one says a word. No one dare gives up what they know about this Black Sun organization because it's one of two reasons. Either no one truly knows anything, or they're simply more afraid of the Black Suns than they are of Batman. Either way though, Bruce has a lot of work to do. And thankfully we finally get a little bit more information and it sheds light on who exactly this sibling duo really are. We also find out that they do have names. The older sister is named Wrath Blacksun and the younger brother is named Whisper Blacksun, whose power set also coincides based on their name, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But here what you do need to know is that these siblings show up to this mining moon. As some of the inhabitants, after an encounter with Batman before, they were truly shown the freedom that they were missing, as here they're nothing more than slaves for generations, mining and physically working for the Blakksun Company, and by extension, the siblings here who run everything, and now they seek to topple over their oppressors. But the older sister here, she was almost dumbfounded, truly asking and questioning herself, why would you ever want to come against what we offer? Because they have given these creatures here, this alien species on this moon, everything. There's no need for aspirations or wonder, no need for class warfare, racial divisions, because the Blakksun Mining Company has already rendered all of them here equal, except they're equally insignificant. And now she gives these blue alien species one final offer, saying that Batman, he has come from afar, an alien to our way, spreading diseases, something that you guys have no natural immunity to. And no, this disease isn't anything like an actual deadly pathogen, but they're diseases like ambition and hope. Batman spreads these infections from world to world, and then leaves you to fend for yourselves. But my brother and I have come to you now with the cure. And she is going to be offering this cure to everyone here who dare so steps up to her free of charge. And as we will soon see, we can understand why her name is Wrath. As every one of these creatures here now fighting for a better future, not being oppressed and enslaved to do this work non-stop, they try to of course overthrow the Black Sun duo here. But for now, we come back over to the War Storm, the place where Batman left the Thanagarian he was fighting with all those other robots. And here we see Ione has finally came back. And now Ione, she is Batman's love interest, or almost his partner throughout his entire time here in this other galaxy. His alien Catwoman, if you will. But up to this point, he is essentially left and trying to do his own thing and abandoning her. So Ione came back here looking for answers, only to find that, this assassin, this Thanagarian warrior, is in his place. As he is of course beating all of these other robots, who of these robots were never meant to truly beat him in the first place, only to distract him so Batman could escape, of course, which they did their job and Batman was able to get away. But as we go on to find out, this Thanagarian, he isn't just some evil monster looking to murder or kill just because he enjoys it sadistically, kind of like the Joker would. Instead, it is almost tragic, or at least as tragic as a mass murdering psychopath could be, as we see that he will never truly stop hunting Batman. Not because he wants the money he gets from hunting and being a bounty hunter, but because when he is not working, when he is not fighting, being an assassin, his body goes limp. Without a bounty to chase or a thing to do, it's like his body doesn't even remember how to breathe. So this here, being on the chase for Batman, this is him breathing. He doesn't care if the work is tedious, he doesn't even care how long it takes, because this here, fighting, this being this warrior is food for him. This is him living his best life. So when he finds Batman wherever he thinks he can hide, yes, he will finally and successfully deliver him to the Black Suns as they requested. Alive. But alive in the sense that, sure, he'll be breathing, but on the brink of death every second of the way. And so Ione, of course, not wanting Batman to just be murdered and brought to the Black Suns, or seemingly so, she pulls out a high-tech blaster of her own and aims it directly at the Thanagarian. Back with Bruce though, after his long trip across the stars, across the spaceway, he finally made his way to the floating rock, the moon, in orbit where the Black Suns came and attacked. His punch bot, his robot here, going on to say that he already downloaded all of the available satellite imagery. The Black Suns came here alone. One of them, being Wrath, the older sister, would appear to be exceptionally strong. She punches with devastating power. And as for the other one, the younger brother, simply named Whisper, the footage shows him speaking softly to people, and that's it. Yet the effects of his whisper can only be described as, well, it cannot be described at all, as we see just a giant massacre having been taken place. Every one of those beings, those aliens, completely slaughtered and dead. And even being revealed that this whole thing, this killing of these untold amount of people only took a matter of moments. It wasn't some drawn out battle like Batman had earlier with the Thanagarian. No. This only took a couple of moments, swift and efficient. Technically, Batman is responsible for all of these deaths, because it was him who gave these people hope for a better future to rebel against their oppressors and captors, and specifically wearing and using the symbol, the bat symbol, just as Batman does, as a symbol for hope. 12 billion lives. Yes, 12 billion with a B. That's how many innocent lives were slaughtered here because of Batman and the rebellion he is starting galaxy-wide. That's literally more people and humans on Earth itself. Batman, for the first time throughout this entire ordeal, the consequences just aren't on him, you know? If it was his life in danger, sure, whatever. But these were innocent people and a whole civilization gone. Bruce realizing that Ione was right. He is so far out of his depth here. It's absurd. Almost 13 billion people are dead because of him. Because of a man dressed like a bat who originally set out to just stop muggers and mobsters. At the end of the day, Batman was one man's mission, one boy who set out to clean up his city, make the people in his general vicinity live easier. He has no business here across light years battling alien empires. And so for a rare time, we see Batman almost thinking to give up, quit altogether. Bruce going on to think that he has to stop and do what he should have done before, leave. Go back to where he belongs, back to Earth, back to the Milky Way galaxy, and seek therapy. Except that this whole Batman thing, maybe this isn't the best. Maybe this isn't the solution Bruce Wayne truly needs. But before he can think further and make up his mind, he's interrupted by Ione finally coming and meeting him face to face. Ione herself, who is a Temeranian, you know, the same species that Starfire is, she was born in this galaxy. You know, none of this is really new to her or that extreme of a situation. She is used to the Blakksun Company being this oppressive force throughout this part of the universe. So Batman here, he just doesn't know what to say. He even chokes on the words as his mind is flooded with images. For the first time, he truly sees a way out of this war. With the solution being him leaving. If he leaves, you know, the people won't have hope or ambition to seek justice. Sure, they'll be oppressed, but they'll be alive, which to Batman is the lesser of two evils. So he knows exactly what needs to be done and what needs to be said, but he just doesn't have the guts to say it to her. But Ione sees it in his eyes, sees the solution that Batman has came up with. And he also sees something similar in hers. Well, that's just before she does the same move from before, raising her gun and pointing it directly at Batman. You know, the person she has been with this entire time trying to train, fight, get out of this situation they've been in. It seems like Ione just betrayed him. For what reason? Well, as we see, she delivered him straight to the Blacksun siblings. The reason being, she wanted the bounty for herself, or that's what at least the comic is trying to portray it as. You know, she took out the Thanagarian so she can deliver Batman herself and collect whatever credits or whatever money or monetary system this galaxy has. Even going as far to say that no, she doesn't want to stay and watch, there's no reason to. Batman, he means nothing to her, and Batman over the years has been in a bunch of deadly situations, and here being no different, one that I'm not too sure how he's even going to get out of, as we see him utterly defeated, hurt, bruised, on the last leg of his life on the floor, and with the younger brother, the one named Whisper, whispering something in his ear, as even the older sister goes on to say, he's been dying to have a word with the Batman. So yeah, it truly seems like Batman, Bruce Wayne, has really gotten in over his head. You know, beating up the Riddler in a Gotham rooftop is one thing, but coming over to a whole other galaxy where you have zero support, zero other allies and heroes, and trying to take down a whole alien empire is an entirely different ballgame, especially Batman by himself without the help of, say, the Justice League. But that's the end of this issue and end of this video. If you have enjoyed, leave a like or subscribe if you're new and want to see more content just like this. As always, this was AJ here at the Hero Informer, and thank you for watching.